So there is a very unique vulnerability with being seen in process. And it's scary, it's uncertain, and I wanted to talk about it today because that is the journey that I'm on right now. If you don't know, hello, my name is Alexis. Welcome to our cozy little corner of the internet. Take off your shoes, drinks are in the fridge, bathrooms down the hallway. You're always welcome as long as you treat this house like it's yours. Um, Yeah, so let's talk about this real quick. There are a few things that I think you get from being seen in process, and there are a few things that make it really, really uncomfortable and really scary. And I wanted to kind of go through it all. So I did write notes for today's video. I wasn't going to, and the more I thought about it, I was like, "Ooh, there's meat here. I gotta make sure we hit on a couple things." So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is that being seen in process gets you comfortable with imperfection. And I say that because a lot of times when we see people, specifically on social media, but sometimes it's even people in our lives, we see the after, we see the wow, this person is now at the Olympics as a figure skater, or this person has amazing creative skills. They draw these beautiful pictures and they have these amazing paintings and murals and whatever. But we never see when they were just kind of scribbling on a notepad and it kind of wasn't great. And I think a lot of times it's so easy to internalize seeing everyone else's like perceived perfection, and obviously, logically, we know that no one is perfect, right? But when all you're seeing is the end product, it is what's the word? It can make you really self-conscious to not be at the end product and being seen trying to get there. So, one thing that I'm trying to get more comfortable with is just being okay with the imperfection. I do think that there have been several times over my life, which now makes it easier for me to do this YouTube process, but there have been several times throughout my life where I've documented a journey, like, during the pandemic when a lot of people were getting into roller skating. I was recording myself going to like the tennis courts or whatever parking lot, and I posted when like I got a new trick down, but I also posted the 76 times that I fell and got my knee pads scratched up and it like looked dumb attempting this trick over and over and over again. So I do think that I've kind of microdosed the risk a little bit, the risk of being seen. And that helped me build some confidence over the years. And that's something that I want to talk about in another video as well, like learning how to microdose risk. But we'll get there. We got 365 days, y'all. We're gonna get there. The other thing is getting more comfortable with vulnerability. It is incredibly vulnerable to allow yourself to be seen as imperfect, being seen bad at something, being seen mediocre. Like, again, it goes back to social media, but also just in general, there's this weird thing that happens when you go from childhood, adolescence, and then adulthood, where as a child, you're expected to make mistakes. Like when you're learning to ride your bike, you're expected to fall a few times. You're expected to have scratches on your knees and just the training wheels, like all of that, you're expected to not be good at things. And suddenly when you become an adult, you're expected to have it all together, and that's just not how life works. Yeah, that's just not how life works. And I it can make it really difficult because I've even heard people kind of insinuate that certain things are immature because you're not automatically good at something, which is insane, y'all. This is all of our first times on earth. This is my first time being 29. It's your first time being 25 or 37 or whatever. This is all of our first runs. And I heard I heard somebody say that like every day we live, we're breaking our own record at life. You are breaking a record every single day that you are alive, and we're all supposed to have it together. That makes no sense. Um and so getting back to the point, allowing yourself to be seen in process gets you comfortable with like that the discomfort, get you comfortable with the discomfort. Um because it shouldn't be, but it can feel like you're really bearing yourself when you're allowing yourself to be seen, be perceived in an imperfect state. Uh which is crazy. I also think, veering off the topic here a little bit, uh I think there's also such a fear, and part of it is social media, right? Like, for some reason we all have to be seen doing everything all the time, and god forbid you're seen trying something or caring about something earnestly, whether it's a project or a hobby or a person. I think that's part of the, like, a big reason why dating is so screwed up these days, because you never want to be seen as the person that cared. It is vulnerable being seen as the person that cared. So it's much easier for you to protect yourself and be the nonchalant, whatever. If this relationship didn't work out, well, I didn't really care about him that much anyway. So like it's fine. Or, me and her weren't that serious. So it like okay, so it didn't work. Ew. Ew. Everyone is so afraid. Um to be seen caring, especially if you're the first person that cares about something. And again, veering a little off the topic here, but y'all, if we all attempted to care just a little bit, the world would be a better place. But going back to the initial point, being seen and processed, something that's kind of unexpected, I think, that a lot of people don't really give much thought to, is it helps build empathy when you allow yourself to be seen working through problems, when you allow yourself to be seen not being good at something, because you know what it's like to be seen as imperfect. Do you know how many people there are in the world who have never tried a new thing, who have never shown themselves being imperfect at something, and they will vilify you. They will talk about you so bad. They will try to bring you down because they've never allowed themselves to be seen trying something, and it terrifies them, and it's so baffling. I mean, I guess it makes sense on a somewhat of a psychological level, but I personally would much rather be an empathetic person who has been seen publicly on the internet making terrible YouTube videos with bad audio and blank backgrounds with a little $10 Amazon mic, and have empathy for another person who is just learning how to paint, or is just, trying to learn a new dance move or whatever, then be somebody who doesn't have any understanding of what it's like to put yourself out there. And therefore you have no compassion for the person that's on the other end of the screen, or even if it's not on the other end of the screen, even if it's somebody like personally that you see regularly, I would much rather be a compassionate, empathetic person because I've tried and I know what it's like to suck publicly. Like, um, yeah, it's just mind blowing to me. And I think over the years, because I've allowed myself to be seen trying, it's not a jarring thing when I see somebody else, specifically an adult, not good at something and allowing themselves to be seen not good at whatever the thing is. Or even caring about something that they're not good at. That's another thing that's always interesting to me. Like, there are a lot of people who will talk really, really, really bad about somebody who enjoys something that they're not good at. Is that is that crazy? Like if you have a friend who's really into music and they want to rap, they write raps and poems in their free time and they're not the best at it but they still enjoy it. Who cares? Who cares if you have a friend who loves going to the roller rink every single Saturday and just skating in a circle? Never learn to skate backwards, never learn to do any, fancy dance moves on their skates, still trips every now and then, but they just enjoy doing it. I think that's valid. It should be valid. And there are a lot of people who don't think it's valid because they're not good at the thing. Is that not absurd? Is that feels insane to me. That like we have to enjoy or we're not allowed to enjoy things that we're not good at. And I don't know if it's you know, uh like tortured artist stereotype where like you have to be like an adversary to whatever your hobby is, whatever your art is, before you're allowed to just enjoy the fruits of your labor after practicing painting for decades, or after restoring 30 vintage cars. Then you're allowed to enjoy the process, but during it you're just supposed to be angry and sad and depressed. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. What a weird world we live in. Okay, so getting to another point, I personally think that the vulnerability is worth it when we have tangible proof of progress. Or at least for me, it's nice to have tangible proof of progress. And what I mean is, like, for instance, let's take this journey. I mention it in most of my videos now, but my goal is to record a YouTube video every single day for at minimum 100 days, but like the long goal, the stretch goal is a full 365 days, right? Who knows what these videos are going to look like in 30 days, or when I reach my 100 days, or 200 days. It's going to look so different, and I am already proud of myself for being like allowing myself to be in the beginning of the process. Excuse me. To allow myself to be at the beginning of the process, and knowing that in 100 days I'll be able to look back at my first 10 videos and be like, yo, these kind of sucked. Like, these are kind of bad. But I still forced myself to do it. I still pushed aside any of the those uncomfortable feelings of not being perfect and not not having not putting myself under the pressure of needing to edit every single video and needing to make sure that I looked I look perfect. Like I think y'all have seen me in makeup a grand total of 3 videos. Um and stumbling over my words and the filler words, the ums and and losing my train of thought and trailing off completely. There will be something so beautiful about me being able to go back and look at my progress, but also think about all the people who might be following me then. They'll be able to see the entire journey. And I think I'm looking forward to where I'm going to be, but I'm also trying to enjoy the in process stage. And that can be difficult because another thing I was kind of thinking about is being in the before stage is really really hard. um we see a lot of videos on social, whether it's and not even just social, but in a lot of places where we might be on TikTok and somebody is documenting their weight loss journey, for example, and they'll say, "Hey, these are the last I took a video every week for the last 52 weeks, and now this is where I am." So they'll show like a before picture and maybe the starting videos of them struggling to attempt to pull up, and they can't even pull themselves up an inch, or their squat progress and they have like two tens on each side of the bar, or excuse me, um or whatever it is. And then you go through the videos and you can kind of see them slimming down, and you can see how proud they're getting of the different muscles that they're starting to see, and then at the end they look so happy, right? It can be really really challenging physically, but also mentally, like psychologically, still being in the before and allowing yourself to be seen in the before. I just watched a video. It was like a 6-minute video of some guy documenting his like 4-year salsa dancing progress. And I think it had like 12, how many, I don't know, it was a lot of views anyway. And he starts in the beginning and he's like, I'm so grateful that my partner didn't mind didn't mind me stepping on her toes, and I'm still like trying to catch the rhythm a little bit. And then of course toward the end, he I think he went to Barcelona, and he just like, whoa, these dancers are so much better, and now I feel like I can keep up. It's it's so nice to be able to see the before and after. But yeah, being in the before, working toward the after, I don't get it. But there will be people in the comments praising this person for like, I'm so glad you kept up with it. And we're so proud of you. I don't know you, but I'm here rooting for an internet stranger, right? But when you see somebody, sometimes they'll post just the before, like, hey, I'm starting this weight loss journey. And it'll be some girl just excited about her new gym outfit and this new journey that she's starting. And there'll be somebody, with like some crazy emoji calling her fat, or somebody being like, yeah, you should just give up now, bro. Or what are we doing, y'all? What are we doing? Um, let me wrap up here. I am enjoying this process of being seen in process, and I'm trying to be grateful for the fact that I have pushed myself to the point of doing it, but also doing it publicly and openly. I think there are a lot of benefits to it. I think I understand why more people don't, because especially in the age of the internet, it is absolutely insane the things that a random person will say to you, not knowing what you're dealing with, what's going on in your life and who you are just in general. But I'm proud of myself. I see a lot of benefits for documenting this process openly. Even like just with the itty bitty audience that I have now. Like, first of all, thank you. I woke up to 4 new subscribers. I don't know who y'all are, and I don't know why you like hearing me yapping, but I'm glad you're here and I appreciate the support. Um, yeah, like even with the what 26 subscribers that I have, thank you. I appreciate that. That's huge. For anybody that's putting themselves out there and is constantly self-conscious of how much they yap, especially when it feels like it's just into the void sometimes. Um yeah, so anyway, thank you guys for being along this journey with me. Super excited to see where this is going to be in the next 80 days cuz yeah, today is day 20, y'all. I'm gonna wrap up and then I'm gonna yap a little bit more. But if you don't know, my name is Alexis. I'm posting every single day. Check my track record. Today is day 20. My goal is to get to at least 100 days, but the stretch goal is a full 365. So feel free to hop on this train early. I don't know where we're going, but it's gonna be fun. We have fun around here. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I most of the time when I start these videos, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about for that day. I have a list of video topics, and I'm going to be honest, a couple of these videos weren't even on my list. I was just thinking about something, or I had a conversation with my therapist or one of my friends. And I was like, you know what? Let's talk about that today. And then, jot down some notes and get it done. Yeah, today's video was like kind of a hybrid. I had kind of an idea, but I wasn't really sure. Look, I asked y'all to hop on this train, and half the time I don't know where it's going. So again, thanks for the 26 people that that decided they wanted to be on this journey with me. Um, yeah, also today, like if I look kind of, I think it's better now, but when I first started this video, I feel like I look flushed and my nose was red. Obviously, my nose is still running. Um, I don't know. None of where I usually film felt right today. Like I'm in a new spot, and what you can't see is my kitchen trash can right there and my steam mop right there. But anywho, today's the Super Bowl, and I went to the store early because I didn't want to be in like the middle of the Super Bowl rush and all that stuff. So went outside, and it's one of those days where it's like 10 degrees, so it's already cold. But then on the weather app, it'll be like feels like -3, and I'm like, well, gee, thanks, Apple Weather. So yeah, then I got my nose running, my face was all flushed. But I had to go to the store. I'm on Rotel duty for the Super Bowl, so I'm very excited. I'm about to start. I'm about to start it now, but needed to get my video in because I have a meeting later. That's the other thing. The planning for these videos sometimes is so interesting because obviously life is still happening. Like I still work a full-time job. I still have a social life. I still as I've mentioned before, am still very involved in like my ministry and whatnot, and it can just be a lot sometimes. So me trying to squeeze in these videos, I'm very proud of myself for making it to 20 days. I'm gonna just say that. And I don't know. It feels good, but I'm interested to see how I continue to make this happen. So, anywho, if you're still here, I have no idea why, but thank you so much for being with me on this journey. Feel free to drop your thoughts about this in the comments. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Day 21 tomorrow, y'all. Bye.